Well, did I get one of those?
Possibly.
More?
Okay, we made hard copies. It's because you might want to have them all in front of you at the same time. Maybe we'll get Debbie to pass them out. And Jim, what I'll do is, do you want to do this, the thing, or you want to? I'll do it. I'll just stand over here.
Yeah, I did. You did?
And we'll get Debbie to hand those out.
Oh, yeah. Already come to me? You registered?
Do you mind?
Oh, thank you.
Which one start?
The blonde.
Are we all signed up for FSBA?
Okay, great.
What's today's date?
Yes, you're all signed
Okay,
up.
today is the 17th, I believe.
Thank you.
Yes.
I do know what day of the week it is, but that's it.
This one we'll wait on.
She got me in. She got me in.
You might just want to keep walking around.
I may walk around 5
Mrs. Beatty, we're just letting them pass papers out until they're finished, and then we'll...
We're actually waiting for the PowerPoint.
Oh, I see.
like
We're
to see
waiting
that.
for the PowerPoint. Thank you.
Microsoft Exchange is unavailable.
Yeah. We should have been here for the budget cuts that time. We had boxes.
Well, this is available? Thank you.
She's got all
Yes,
of
I have 4 of them.
now here.
Thank you. Wireless isn't
Oh, you're welcome. I have a pile of them at home.
Here, then
Thank you.
You've got 2, and I've got 2.
Okay.
Time to get one of those little messages, it can be good.
I see.
Here we go. Nope. So, can't connect today. I don't think so. Oh, well. I know, they're gonna confuse us with enough paperwork, we'll be quiet.
Okay. Right. Oh, more.
All right, while we're getting this up, I forwarded you the PowerPoint that Jim is going to be going over with you. And then I gave you hard copies if you wanted to, just of the 3 slides to a page, pretty small to be able to read. And then this afternoon, Jim brought some additional pieces that we did not include in the PowerPoint because it was just background information that you may have needed. So that's what you're having handed to you right now. I'll bring it up right this minute. Today is...
Okay, I'm usually pretty good with charts, but...
I'll explain.
Mr. Madden, should we be on the PowerPoint that you sent at 1:11? Is that the correct? No.
No,
Okay.
PowerPoint you sent us today?
no, I didn't send you something.
Okay.
Somebody sent us.
I sent you the PowerPoints.
Oh, maybe it's...
The one that you got from me this
Does
morning.
it matter? Because Outlook won't let me connect anyway.
Today, we got one at 1:11.
Okay.
Doesn't matter because John just has my
This one,
computer.
you should have gotten this morning.
Okay.
We should have gotten it this morning?
Yeah.
No, it says that.
You've had the legislative agenda, and now Jim's going to go over the student assignment options. Then we're going through some of a very, very brief overview of the Race to the Top update that I received last week. And I have another meeting on Friday in Orlando that the commissioner called yesterday to meet with the larger school district superintendents. Then we'll go on with the organizational chart. We have handouts for that. And then the strategic plan, we'll wrap it up, next steps, and we'll ask for some volunteers for you to join different subcommittees to get started working on the strategic plan. Okay, Jim,
Hi.
you're on.
One of the things I want to do is at the retreat, we took about 3 to 5 minutes just talking about like whetting the appetite for what happens next in student assignment. And it really doesn't seem to matter that I'm not there anymore because look who's doing this presentation. So I don't know what that means. But one of the things that we talked about, or at least put on the table at the retreat, was as we move forward in the district and trying to see what schools will look like in 2014, I thought it was important to make sure that we keep the big picture in front of people and then work down from there. But as we looked at the concept of countywide program expansion, which is what is closest to the boat right now, I just want to point to those that are also in the audience that we need to remember what the guiding principles of the student assignment plan were when that was passed in January of, seems like a couple hundred years ago, but I know it's not. But in January of '08 or '09, I think was actually, seems like it was forever ago. But there's some very lofty goals in those guiding principles. In addition to that, the whole issue of supply and demand of the various programs that we offer right now versus what we may not offer. Looking at the centers of excellence and what the projections are for those over the next 2 or 3 years, I think is important as we make any recommendations to the board. The whole issue of enrollment projections. You heard today that even though we were projected to go down 2,200 students, I believe, we didn't go down that many, and it's over the next few years it's going to be somewhere in between, but that has to be on the table as we look at what's next. The other thing, obviously, as we move forward, is the whole issue of capacity at schools. How many warm bodies can we physically sit in a building? And as we look at doing other kinds of things, how many kids can be assigned to that school that may be doing classes elsewhere? But just the whole concept of capacity and those kinds of things. There's a magnet school assistance program grant that's out there in the mix right now, or at least out there to be considered. And we have to determine internally first and then share with the board where do we fit as a district into even considering to go after that grant. The other thing, and I'll show you something in a little bit, what I mean by that one is it's just the number or the percentage of countywide seats that the board wants to allow at any individual school. The emphasis today is on the high school level, but it's more than just the high school level when you start talking about that. But that particular piece is more of a high school issue. That and the whole issue of construction or relocatables. It's trying to put all these pieces of the puzzle together. You can't do this, without looking at what some of the budget issues are that are out there. Knowing that sometime in January you're going to get something from our Curriculum and Instructions Department that talks about the redesign of our dropout prevention program. So where does that fit in all of this? And then the final two things that just in terms of all of the variables that need to be considered is the issue of feeder patterns. Right now we have feeder patterns in most cases from elementary to middle. We really don't have anything from, other than the fundamental schools, from middle school to high school. So one of the variables to consider is, do we keep that? Do we change that? Do we tweak that? But just something that has to be out there as part of the longer range discussion. I don't know if a lot of this even has to be resolved today. I'm just trying to set the table for a number of discussions as we move forward. And then knowing that a lot of the things the variables that were mentioned on the previous two slides as well as this one, there could be some rezoning impacts relative to that. So just knowing that it's not just, do we add it here, do we add it here? Last year we came into you and we kind of asked for the moon and we got the stars, which was, actually walked out of the workshop last year with more than we came in hoping for, and now it's a matter of now knowing that we had major changes in our system last year in terms of schools go, and it's trying to keep them in a minimum for this coming year, but not void of looking at some of the things that I just shared that we want to look at. So what are the issues and what are the solutions? Let's talk about those if we can. All right, Dr. Jansen, if you want to. I'm going to kind of go not so quickly that we lose track of what the concept that we're trying to deal with here. All right, Dr. She's lining up her.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure it was pointed right.
There we go. This is the slide that was shown at the retreat, and I thought it was important to resurrect it because I want to keep us on like the 30,000-foot level because it's a county-wide program issue, and it's not just a high school issue. We can't look at